Yeah, the dumber zone, I think.
That
Dumber Zone.
they were nice guys.
Mhm.
Very cool.
And the kids would all make fun of me, especially younger. It'd be like, "So are you Mexican or are you? What are you? You're not white, clearly." And then when the zip cord would rip again next summer, go back, and then the Mexican kids in our home villages, for me at least, I don't know about your experience, but for me, they'd be like, "Nah, you're from over there. You're from
Yeah.
over there. You're not from here,
Yeah.
right?" And so it was like a world of like that is. I tell Victoria like it was such a weird experience. My daughter, it's such a weird, that first generation here like was an interesting experience. We need a whole
I
pod.
mean, and it's not like it's not like really harsh or anything, but
No,
it does
no,
seem like in some ways you're not from here or from there. You know what I mean? It's kind of
yeah.
like a you're in some kind of limbo type. Just depends on, you know what I mean? I guess depends on who you talk to or who looks at
Who looks at you and which way they look at you? No, I mean
you.
definitely. You know, so it's funny, man. I started going to therapy. I think I've shared with everybody and stuff, or with whatever the pod and everything. But I started going to therapy like 4 or 5 months ago. It's been amazing, but like the funny part is there's something about the duality of the way that we came up. Like you mentioned it, right? It's like from here or from there. And for my, I mean, that's my own journey has been about like duality, right? Like so, it's been interesting, man, just to kind of follow that. Like once my therapist pointed that out, I was like, oh dang. And we got to like what we're sharing right now, right? When we were kids, he was like, yeah, but you were also a young dad and you were a college student,
Mhm.
right? And so it was like, yeah, I was a young dad and a college student, and I was blessed by both. My daughter was like the biggest blessing, dude. It changed my life, right? And it was interesting because there's always been that sense of duality, right? Like in my life that I think was centered around, where we're from, and
Yeah.
being okay with the extremes, right? To where you're like, ah, that's cool. And okay, cool. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, you know?
We I mean, even though you feel that way, like in the moment, you do make it work and you do
Yeah,
acclimate and you do fit in. It's just like I said, it's more about the people on the outside make you feel
yes,
sometimes like it's just, but you feel fine on either,
yeah.
fine in either one. Like you feel like you're in your place, either
Oh,
one. It's just like I said. It's just when it gets weird with other people that try to, I don't know, figure out or define or ask too many
yeah,
questions, weird questions that like, well, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I honestly never thought about it. Like I just am. Like I don't
Same.
know. I don't know
I
what
mean,
you're getting at.
yeah, like I said, our crew is very much alike. Yeah, I never think about it until it's kind of brought up, like, oh yeah. And I think
Mm,
it's part of that experience that our parents went through that they kind of shared those values of like, crossing crazy, impossible journey, right? Like to get over
mm,
here and, them going on this expedition and making a life here,
mm,
founding a church. All our families founded a church. That's how we all came up together, from day one,
mm.
and found a sense of community. And then, yeah, and we're still connected. We always joke about this, but like you and I, we've never had a fight. Your brother Nestor, Victor, like all of our little crew that we all like,
Mm.
y'all took care of me from y'all knew me since I was born. It's a crazy experience that really is not just geographically because there's a lot of people that we came up with, right, back in those days that we just don't talk to, and they live down the street or
Yeah.
whatever. They're in the city. They're in Dallas,
Mm.
but the fact that our little crew here has came up together and now getting to have kids together to where not you and I pervert
I was
but
getting
kids.
excited.
you know, just kind of coming up in that same way. I feel like there's a cool sense of continuation of, you know, like community here that we've
Yeah.
developed, and it's cool.